Thank you so much for inviting me here. And I'm actually gonna tackle this from bit different or a bit different theme than what we've heard from the previous two presentations, um, because and in this case here we're dealing with open science the and the results of open science and how to go from there. But before I go into the how and we do this, go from the theory to the practice, I want to talk about the why. And because over the past 2 decades, we've had this movement that has pushed for a more accessible and inclusive science. And it's also collaborative science that includes everybody from to break the barriers of knowledge. So we're aiming at a world where the knowledge is not being kept behind a gate, but is freely flowing and accessible to everybody. And to do this, it's not just one person or two or one organization or two. This is a whole lot of effort that is carried by communities. That's where we see like community networks with peer-to-peer exchanges play a key role in achieving this. Communities, they are the driving force for why people choose to pursue science in the first place, and also how they conduct their work. So this holds tremendous powers and as a catalyst for change to steer us towards more, to steer us toward more equitable science that is open for everybody. So designing, but these communities, they don't just spur or grow out of nowhere, and designing them and having the right environment and the right space to encourage equitable participation, that takes a lot of deliberate effort. So this brings us to the how of things. Pre-pandemic already that created OpenCider, which stands for Open Computational Inclusion and Digital Equity Resource. And it's really a platform to increase the knowledge and enhance the knowledge transfer and foster and how to foster inclusive communities. It's something that is built by the community and it's built on top of feedbacks and insight. And quite concretely, I can show you some examples of what we offer. So OpenCider is like a practical toolkit. So whether you are a community or aspiring to build one, or you're building a space for knowledge transfer, you might be wanting to look for templates and how to start, how to go about things. And this is some of those templates that we offer. We also have checklists if you need guidance on mindful behavior and conduct, and on many different things, just to facilitate it and bring it to collect. That's a collective knowledge from different people and different experiences as well. Another thing is that one of the most significant challenges is how to select tools that are appropriate for the occasion. So we have software tools that require high-speed internet or have a commercial license on it, and that's not available for everybody. That's not equitable. And therefore we have like this curated list of tools and offer options, what to take into account. Some things like bandwidth, reasonable accessibility as well. So you have some tools that are effectively blocked by governments in different places. That includes things like GitHub and Google Drive. So, and consider the choice of communication channels. Like we're all used to Slack, Zoom and whatnot here, but when you look at the African context, WhatsApp and Facebook are the primary source of information and communication between scientists and researcher communities. So another point is also using commercial solutions to, alternatives to commercial solutions, and things to facilitate like crowdsourcing, quizzes or assessment and so on. But one of the interesting things is pocket infrastructures pocket infrastructures are lightweight software tools with extensive functionality, so that can run locally on your computer. So imagine carrying the whole entire system that you need in your pocket. This enables you to work offline. This enables you to work to conduct computational training in areas where basically you can't rely on internet connection or the model of your hardware and so on. So sometimes you need like to have everything set up, preloaded, and run locally. So these are pocket infrastructures, which are pretty handy. There are a whole lot of advice here and things to consider in the handbook. And again, this is a very open to contribution, either via Google Docs or GitHub, both of which I just realized are blocked in different countries. And we also have our handy frequently asked section here, which provides like common solutions. So just a quick look there, you might find some of the questions that you're wondering about, because if you've asked it, someone else probably did as well. But asking it does not guarantee an answer. So we have a few questions that are a great starting point for anyone who wants to contribute. So that's OpenCider. And taking that theory and that knowledge from this experience and interactions with communities from different places, I want to illustrate how that looks in real life when we apply it to building a community, which I've co-founded FairPoints with a number of teammates. And it's a community-driven project, so meaning that it's people getting together, identifying areas of interest, and co-creating knowledge as well. And it was born out of the response to the rapidly changing landscape of FAIR. FAIR stands for findable, accessible, interoperable, and reusable. And one of the things is that at FairPoints, we're really committed to inclusion and including diverse voices to make FAIR a more inclusive place and widely accessible as well. And also, we don't know how FAIR looks like in different regions in the world. So to enable this participation from individuals, regardless of their race, color, all of the other characteristics, it's not just a moral obligation on our side, but it's actually a human right as defined by the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. And that's something to take into account, because we're not just doing the right thing here. It's something that we all should look at as a fundamental necessity. Our goal is to make it also more accessible to a wider audience. So how do we do this? We offer something called microgrants. Microgrants are financial assistances to kind of level the playing field for people who join some of the activities, or so we offer paid opportunities for moderation, planning, running an event, delivering any type of activities. And the microgrants they're there to level the playing field, because we can't expect people to volunteer their time. That's a privilege that some of us have, but not everybody. So our microgrants also cover costs for internet access, electricity, audiovisual, electronics, so headsets, cameras, office space for uninterrupted participation, cover childcare and transcriptions and so on. And a few things to keep in mind here, that the microgrants don't come after they have after the event. We ensure that the people receive the microgrants ahead of time to not have that temporary financial burden. Not everybody has a credit card, and asking people to pay up front, it is a barrier in itself. So, and when we do that, we are mindful of different payment systems. So, okay, I'm almost done. Because banks are sometimes non-existent in different countries. So apart from like the financial part of things, what we offer is a place to empower and uplift people and provide leadership opportunities so they can actually take charge of running an event of their interest, and that in that sense they can promote their own work and get in closer to a wider platform to reach others in the same space. And also we have a very dedication to providing a harassment-free space, support different types of participation, synchronous and written, verbal, and facilitate by providing translations and recording when possible. So we're not the only ones doing this. Definitely not. There are many other incredible communities out there. If you're also new to open science, or if you're curious, or even if you are an expert, there are many different communities that have the same values and principles, and they allow us to continue to learn and adapt and broaden our perspectives. So we're not trying to reinvent the wheel. OpenCider is a collection of experiences from folks. So we're trying to learn and draw inspiration from these amazing people doing amazing things. With that, I just want to thank my team at SciLife Lab and at Fairpoints and all the organizations supporting us. Thank you.
Great talk, thanks, really interesting. So, I mean, you talked about open data, but there's plenty of closed data out there or commercial products, and some people have different approaches that they might get access to those closed products. So to what extent do you, on say, OpenCider, kind of have to moderate people who might come along and say, oh, well, actually, you can get that software in your country, you just have to do this or that. Do you have to do sort of moderation to stop those things?
So we only provide advice in OpenCider, and what people choose to do is their responsibility. And it's, so we would never say like, here's an alternative, like a pirated version of software, basically, if that's what you mean. No, but we try to provide open software, openly licensed software alternatives. So that's what we have.
So it's not like you've got a forum where people,
No.
you've got a forum where anyone can kind of put their comments.
Yeah, people can add that, but it's, I mean, they can add it on GitHub, via GitHub, but it passes through a review, obviously. So, yeah. Yeah.
Any other questions from the audience?
All right.
Or maybe I'll ask one then. Could you give us kind of like a success story or a way in which you see either OpenCider or your second project where you saw some sort of outcome? I'm like especially interested in the microgrants, so if you have kind of an example from there.
Yeah, I mean, I can say that we've had people attending that would otherwise not be able to attend without the microgrants. And that in itself is a success, that we're bringing in more people into the space who otherwise wouldn't be there. So, yeah.
Maybe to add on to that, how do you, what funding body do you use in order to get these microgrants?
So we've had quite like small bits of funding here and there. So we've had not like some of these organizations have helped us with, but we don't have any sustainable funding. It's also very much run on volunteer time. So we'll see how long that lasts.
Any other questions from the audience?
Thanks for the talk. So is there any way to overcome the burdens which come with specific visa problems from different countries? Do you have this in mind, and how could this be? I mean, it goes on government level somehow, so.
Well, it's a bit of both. So organizers have a role to play. For the event organizers have a role to play as well. We've seen we've seen conferences where they have a dedicated team to assist with visa applications, and being upfront about the location and what kind of barriers that might come with that, and how you can mitigate them is already a big help. So first, the organizers can have dedicated support in terms of financial and human support. They can also lobby by providing written letters ahead of time to their governments to tell them we are expecting these researchers to come from these places. So we need like a faster or better way to afford them travels. We've also seen cases when that doesn't happen, and it's very and I don't want to say virtual because people tend to go either or just think of virtual as a solution for inequity, but it's not. You provide options, yes, but that shouldn't be your first go-to.
Any other questions from the audience?
Follow-up, like, are we aware if ISMB does it?
Sorry?
Or not? It's not really a question for you, sorry.
Oh,
It's
I don't-
more of a question for everyone. Are we aware if ISMB does, like, provide special support for this kind of thing?
Travel grants, but apart from
No, I mean, like, yeah, for visas. Okay, and by the way, this is not a question also, it's a hype. Like, I attended your talk this morning, your keynote, and now, which was all about principles, and now I see how you apply it in practice, and I really see the connection. Your work is inspiring, really.
Thank you. Lisana, don't make me cry.
I mean, one thing that ISMB does is you have to have a waiver in order to participate virtually, and one reason to, why a waiver is granted is because for visa reasons. So it's a Band-Aid, but at least somebody's thinking about it.